We started these exhibitions with the questions about what it means to be an architect, or what it means to be in an architectural practice in Indonesia today. We are situated in a time and place where we constantly exposed to a diverse and different things outside our domain, and that could either draw us to a new relationship or otherwise estrangement for our practice. And this kind of paradox leads us to look further to what we call the archipelagic way of being an architect.
Hi, my name is Camille, and along with Artiandi, we are the curators of this year's Indonesian Architects Week, or IW for short, that was supposed to be held in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, as part of the UI Congress. The IW has always been a collective, spirited kind of exhibition, so we hope to continue that tradition this year. So we find it fitting that in considering the heterogeneity of Indonesia, the curatorial theme for this year is titled Archipelagic Imagery, where we center on the notion of diversity, but not as a celebration, rather as a departure point for how we investigate how relationships are formed, especially through differences and sometimes through antagonism. In choosing these projects, we expand on the role of the architects and how they navigate the complexity of their context and how they define what is successful engagement. The question of what is to be different, what is estrangement. We open these kind of questions open to interpretations, and some consider languages and cultures to be differences, some others factor in time and the future, for example. While some other consider design methodology, for example, or COVID-19 as the centerpiece of where they take their design. There are a number of ways in which architects confront and deal with unfamiliar territory, and this exhibition is a bit of a snapshot of how we work today.
There are at least two presumptions that become evident from the exhibited works. The first is that this work show how architects or architectural practice in Indonesia today are diverse, decentralized, and very much intertwined, complete with their respective actors and networks, and devoid of a necessity to imply a single grand narrative. Secondly, such practice opens up new territoriality of their own, that for the better or worse produces a new kind of connections. The curatorial seeks no agreement, and we only magnify and bring the works to the surface. So whether you like it or not, we believe that there will be new relationship built between places, axes, or disciplines in the coming future. and we are interested to making that public. We are also interested to see, genuine relationship built between, let's say, young architects in Jakarta with the ethnic leader in the remote area of Lampung, for instance, or a Buddhist person who designed a mosque, or the other way around. And that goes the same with the other proposals that we try to bring to the table, and we are very much interested in that kind of things. The scale model and drawing of the work here are made to its own proportions to highlight fundamental aspects from each work. So they are arranged, set apart in a way, and placed in no specific order, so that the visitor could also imagine a new relationship built between each of these 66 works as exhibited. These are the imagery of an archipelago today. It is here and there, it is diverse, it is somehow limited within their geographical borders, but behind it there is new connections or relationship or encounters, subordinations, or even antagonism happen each and every day. So as we dig deeper through the stories of this work, we find out that the final results of the built form of architecture is just a consequence of a greater exchange from the actor and the networks behind the projects. And we invite you to become part of the exchange as well through this exhibition.
The past year has been quite a challenge in organizing and curating an exhibition, with its uncertainty and all. Now, historically, we've always made new friends and colleagues with the host country through IAW. So, in absence of our physical presence there, we wish to engage our Brazilian friends through correspondence and continue conversations in Indonesia, and hopefully an exhibition to follow suit once the pandemic is in control. We hope you enjoy the works, and thank you.
Ketika kami ditawari proyek ini, kami sangat bahagia dan senang gitu. Bagaimana kami bisa support arsitek-arsitek Indonesia terlibat dalam ajang internasional. Dalam proses pelaksananya sangat seru dan menyenangkan. Bagaimana kolaboratif antar teman-teman dari kurator, dari desainer, dari tim yang lainnya, banyak sekali yang terlibat dalam proyek ini, dan juga penyelenggara terutama untuk memperjuangkan acara ini tetap hadir. Kemudian skop pekerjaan kami di sini bagaimana kami merancang desain identitas yang merepresentasikan tentang narasi dan konsep dari kurator. Skop pekerjaan kami di sini dari mulai identitas visual, bagaimana kami mengkomunikasikan, bagaimana kami mengemas brandnya secara menyeluruh dari Indonesian Architect Week di Rio, kemudian pemilihan warna, pemilihan tipografinya, merancang tipografi settingnya, bagaimana kami membuat karakter dari desain Indonesian Architect Week di Rio 2021 ini, sampai kami merancang untuk kebutuhan desain-desain di pamerannya itu sendiri. Dalam memvisualisasikan konsepnya, kami merespon tema dari kurator tentang archipelagic imagery, bagaimana kami memvisualkan ulang dari kepulauan Indonesia, mengkomposisikan bagian-bagian kepulauan yang tadinya terpisah menjadi menyatu, yang tadinya berjauhan menjadi berdekatan, yang tadinya tidak saling terkoneksi jadi terkoneksi. Kemudian hal itu yang kami rasa dapat mewakili pesan dari kurator tentang keberagaman bukan sebagai perayaan, melainkan keberagaman sebagai titik awal penelusuran bagaimana relasi-relasi itu terjalin. Kami rasa itu cukup mewakili. Kemudian dalam pemilihan warna juga bagaimana kami melihat konteks di mana acara ini berlangsung, yaitu di Brazil, dan konteks dari mana kita berasal, dari Indonesia, negara kepulauan yang tropis. Akhirnya kami menentukan warna hijau dan kuning. Kami rasa cukup bisa mewakili dari acara Indonesian Architect Week yang berada di Rio, Brazil 2021. Tapi karena adanya wabah, jadi banyak sekali perubahan-perubahan, misalnya pameran yang harusnya ada di sana akhirnya dibuat di Indonesia secara mayoritas teknisnya itu dibuat digital, dan bagaimana dalam keadaan seperti ini pameran ini tetap berlangsung dengan bersama-sama tim dan panitia dan peserta berdiskusi bagaimana merealisasikan ini agar tetap terjadi.
Nanti adalah Digital Art Space yang dirancang dan dioperasikan oleh 9 Matahari bekerjasama dengan Lifestyle Resort Paris Van Java. Kalakini nanti mengcover area seluas 220 meter persegi dengan fully digital projection yang dapat dimanfaatkan untuk menghadirkan experience baru dalam melakukan exhibition, event, maupun experience lainnya. Di Kalakini nanti, dengan teknologi dan fasilitas audio visual yang terdapat di dalamnya, kita akan mampu menciptakan sebuah konsep architectural presentation yang menghadirkan immersive digital experience, di mana visitor bisa menghadiri satu galeri pameran yang tidak biasa bisa ia rasakan di galeri-galeri biasanya, di mana karya dari para arsitek yang terbentuk dari maket atau juga konsep yang nanti dipresentasikan secara video maupun visual itu mampu dihadirkan dengan experience yang tidak biasa. Saya membayangkan ketika visitor masuk ke area seluas 220 meter persegi ini dengan panjang 15 kali 14 meter dan ketinggian bidang proyeksi 6 meter, maka experience penonton atau pengunjung tentu akan sangat berbeda. Bagaimana ketika lighting digantikan dengan digital projection, bagaimana ketika maket bisa berinteraksi dengan visual digital juga, bagaimana ketika audio yang ditempatkan dalam galeri tidak hanya mengiringi sebagai sebuah ambient atau musik pengiring, tapi juga bisa menjadi bagian dari experience dan interaktivitas antara visitor dengan karya-karya yang dipamerkan. Maka adalah sebuah kebanggaan buat kami di 9 Matahari bisa bekerjasama dengan seluruh arsitek di Indonesia dalam menyukseskan Indonesia Architect Week di Rio tahun 2021 ini, yang akan dilaksanakan secara hybrid dengan Kota Bandung, dengan Kalakini nanti, dan 9 matahari.
Indonesian Architects Week at Rio 2021, known as IAWR 2021, is a collaboration exhibition with 66 Indonesian architects firms, with curators Artiadi Akbar and Kamil Muhammad, Nusai and 9 Matahari. It's our third international exhibition after Tokyo in 2011 and Seoul in 2017, as collateral event of International United of Architects Congress. This year, we support UI Congress hosted by Instituto de Arquitetos do Brasil by planning to hold this exhibition in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. But due to the global pandemic effect, we cannot hold the exhibitions on site and decided to do it remote from Indonesia. High appreciation to the President of Indonesian Institute of Architects, Mr. Ketut Ranawiarca, Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia for Brazil, Mr. Edi Yusuf, and the Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy of Indonesia, Mr. Sandiaga Salahuddin Uno, who support this exhibition. We hope IAWR 2021 exhibition will give beneficial contribution on architectural discourse that we are facing into several problems which architects have to take a role nowadays. Moreover, the aim of this exhibition is to strengthen the relationship between Indonesian architects, Brazilian architects, and all architects around the world. I'm Dedi, Principal of Labo Architect, host of IAWR 2021. On behalf of all participants and collaborators, I'd like to say thank you and enjoy the exhibition.